How daunting was that to step into something where your dad's
terrifying? No, it was, my dad, as soon as I got it, he just said, be yourself and don't feel pressure to try to emulate me or imitate my voice or anything. And we actually sound very similar, so I wasn't too worried about that in that regards.
It's like looking at a baby version of him, hearing a baby version of him.
I'm basically the red version of him, but he's like wine. He sort of gets better with age. He doesn't really age much, so I'm hoping I have that part of his gene.
It's nice to have good genes to look forward to.
Yes. But it's actually funny. My dad and I we do a web series together called The Daily Show, the DALY show, and we actually just shot and are hoping to release tomorrow a new Superman episode with some special former Superman guest stars, where they basically welcome me into the League of Supermen. It's very silly, and it's a total spoof comedy where we play caricatures of ourselves, but it's something to look forward to.
Did you get any advice from your dad, or did you try to emulate him? Or not emulate, but did you look to his other stuff to kind of maybe get ideas?
Not too much, He sort of just told me to be myself, and I remember when he first started doing the voice in 1996, and so I've heard him do it so many times, and I remember in college he sent me one of the video games where he voiced Superman, and I didn't try to beat it as much as I got Superman hurt over and over again, so I could listen to him scream. So that was sort of my experience with that. I learned that I can grunt in many different ways, though, to get hit and punched. So that was interesting.
With as many people that have been Superman, not just your dad included, did you see it as a little bit of a challenge? Like you want to be as good, so they keep calling you back?
I mean, totally. It's such an iconic character that there's always pressure. You don't want to disappoint all the fans, because there are millions and millions of Superman fans. But if you think about that too much, then you're setting yourself up for failure. But I am an American Superman, unlike the new Superman in Man of Steel, so I had that going for me.
We're glad to have an American.
Yeah, every superhero is British now. We got British Spider-Man, British Batman, British Superman.
Oh no, you had Matt Bomer and Unbound. That was pretty
Hey, there you go.
But it is a different kind of Superman. So he's had a different background. Is the hearing weaker? So that affects you looking at the visual designs of it.
Well, I think that's part of the reason I got casted. Like, you could be a really good weak Superman.
That's not what I was saying.
Weak Superman. No. But it's when I read the script, it was really interesting just because it is such a different take on him. But what was so cool is that Superman sort of has a different arc, because he does start off weaker and a little less super, you could say. But by the end of the movie, you really get to see him come back into his own and be the Man of Steel. So.
Did you get to read any of the Flashpoint comic prior to actually doing it, or did you know anything about it?
You know what? I hadn't read much of the Flashpoint. I've read, I've read some Justice League comics and all that, but I have a couple friends who are obsessed with the Flashpoint, and we're literally like, which episode, like which one. So it was exciting to tell them about it because they knew all about it. But I honestly didn't. I hadn't read much of the Flashpoint.
Have you read it in a sense?
I've read a couple of them. I read this one, which is
there's the main arc and then all the little
side ones, yes. But so yeah, I haven't read too many of them, but I've seen some of them. Hopefully there'll be more, these sequels. That's what I'm hoping.
You lived it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, Flashpoint ends and then they have a whole new universe, so maybe they bring you into a whole new universe.
Exactly. Maybe he'll be super the whole time.
Exactly.
Do you think that would have influenced your performance in any way, having known where the comics went and how that whole thing played out?
It's hard to speculate whether or not I would or not. I think coming into it with a fresh perspective and a fresh mind, and what I did before I did the voice was I went back and watched all the original Chris Reeves movies, because to me that was inspired by the original comics, and that sort of came about for that. So that really sort of gave me a new, fresh perspective on it and take, and that made me confident with what I was doing.
What's your favorite thing about Superman?
Well, someone asked me, if you were a superhero, what would you be? And for me, it's always been Superman, because, when I think what I'd want to do is I want to fly, I want to have superhuman vision, superhuman strength, and be the best-looking alien in the whole world. I mean, it doesn't hurt. So I've always loved Superman.
All right, thank you.
When you were a kid, did you ever run around with the Superman cape?
Yeah, I had some Superman gear, and I've acquired some more since my dad has done it. But I don't still run around in a cape very often. So.
Even at Comic-Con?
At Comic-Con, you never know. I might be in a cape tonight. So.
There was an episode of The Daily Show about that.
Yeah. There was. We did a really funny episode with Nathan Fillion and total spoof on ourselves. And we have, in our new one, we shot a new Daily Show, our superhero episode, where we're hoping again that we can air it tomorrow at the screening room here, but if not, it'll come on an internet, it'll come out on YouTube this week, and I think you guys will really like that. It's really silly.
Do you get to do your voices with the other actors, or did you guys all do them separately?
Yes, I did 2 sessions. In the first session, I did it with Carrie Elways and Ron Perlman and Dana Delaney. And the second time, I got to do it with C. Thomas Howell, which, I mean, these are actors that I've admired and looked up to for my whole life. It's funny, I actually went to school with Ron Perlman's daughter. I was in elementary school with her, so I'd known him, and my dad and him were friends. And Michael B. Jordan, whom I didn't get to work with, but he's been one of my good buddies for 5 years. We play basketball together, and he's blowing up now, so I'm really happy for him.
Do you think that helped your performance working with them?
Totally. I mean, just being in a booth with such talented actors and getting to hear them do it, and everyone sort of steps up their game, I feel like. Whether they admit it or not, actors are competitive too, and everyone wants to sound good. And getting to work with Andrea Romano, who's just the most brilliant voice director in the game, she really knew how to get what she wanted out of people. So it's cool.
So what are some of the the ways that the Superman voice should be done? Like, what are you trying to do with that?
Well, I mean, it's hard to not describe it as heroic because he's such a hero, but it's weird seeing a cartoon and then hearing your voice behind it. Every time I saw Superman do something cool, I felt like I did it, even though it might have been a grunt or something. So that it's just exciting.
At GonzoGeek.com, we like to ask everybody that we interview, because we're all a geek about something. What do you geek out about?
What do I geek out about? I geek out a lot about reality TV, horrible reality TV, and I used to have deep buried somewhere. I had a large collection of Magic cards. I was a big Magic Gathering player back in middle school, and now I'm thinking where are those? I gotta go sell those cards. They're probably worth something. Seriously, but that's how I geeked out hard probably back in the day.
It's still really big.
It's huge,
Magic
right?
is, yeah.
And I think I have all these cards when they first came out.
Me
And,
too, yeah.
I mean, I forget some of their names, but I definitely have them. I just got to bring it in. It's like Antiques Roadshow. Got to do that.
Melding your love of reality shows with your past geekiness. It's perfect.
Exactly. It's fun.
Aside from Superman, is there anybody you'd actually like to voice? Comic book wise, DC universe wise?
Aside from Superman,
Yeah.
I mean, in the DC, after doing Superman, it would be hard to go and do Batman or do someone like that. I think outside of that world, I'd probably want to do one of the Ninja Turtles. I've been a big Ninja Turtles fan my whole life. So
Which turtle?
Donatello.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Donatello, smart one, witty one. I mean, everyone could do Michelangelo and stuff. But yeah.
Do you think you do more voice work going forward, or do you like to do more kind of live action?
I mean, I gotta say, this is being the first animated movie to do voices on. I would love to do more of that, I love it. I still play some video games, and I think it would be fun to do a video game or a motion capture or something like that. But I really hope I get to do a lot more of it for sure. Thank you, brother. Cameron New, publicist extraordinaire.
kind of video games do you play?
I mean, I have a Nintendo Wii at home, so I play, Wii Sports, and I got two little. There's underneath me in the bottom floor. There's a mother and her two sons, and so they come up and we play, NBA Live and all that. But they're really into Mario Kart right now, and I'm probably the most competitive Mario Kart player I know, but so I pretend to be sweet and nice to them until I cut them off and trash them at the end of it.
Mold them into a false sense of confidence and destroy.
Exactly. Yeah, come on, you gotta make them come up somewhere.
Can you give us an example of some different Superman grunts?
Oh God, not too loud. My dad was telling a really funny story earlier. He did an interview with Al Roker once, and he sort of just started rambling about how it's funny how when with all the grunting he does, so many people in America probably know what his sex life sounds like. And Al Roker laughed, and there was someone from Warner Brothers behind going, no, but again, my experience with that was putting him in a video game and then just hurting. It wasn't anything like that, so it was funny. So yeah, that's all you get. You have to watch the movie.
But what kind of grunt is that? What just happened?
Oh, I just got punched in the gut.
Okay.
No, and in Justice League, Superman definitely takes some licks too, along with Give 'Em Out. So you really get to. The movie is fantastic, and I think you guys really. It's also funny because growing up, the animated movies, the ones I saw at least, they were not as the action sequences were not as intense or violent or like PG-13 was out of the question, and nowadays it's a whole new ballgame. So I'm still learning about it and checking it out.
It's an odd experience to have a cartoon make you go,
yeah, or be like, oh my God, they're using some bigger words, some 5-letter words and some 4-letter words, and but again, what's cool about comics now too is they're not just for children. I think they're for adults, and anyone can really relate or check it out and enjoy it as a film. Yeah.
When you're recording those grunts for action scenes, are you like moving around a lot, bumping into stuff?
Totally. There's definitely sometimes you're sitting down for recording, but when you get into the action stuff, you get into it. Like, I think I actually knocked the wind out of myself once just trying to emulate it, but yeah, it's certainly. I think that should be a side movie to all animated movies. Just filming actors hit themselves to get the right sound of it. Smacked in the face would be funny.
Is there anything that's like really, really challenging about voice acting most people don't know? We did an interview with somebody where they're saying how they
ate apples.
Green apples, so she didn't
make the clicking kind of sound.
Oh, like a
yeah.
For me, honestly, I think one of the most challenging thing is finding like the right inflection. Saying, and especially in when sometimes it's only a couple words, but there's so many different ways you can say it. That's where Andrea Romano really came in and helped out. Because it literally could be like, I'll see you later, and I'll see you later, I'll see you later. It's like finding what's natural to the character and what does that. That was the most interesting and challenging thing, was figuring out, how does this work within the scene, how does it work within the story, and getting it right.
Do you ever have a day where like you were just out of it, you couldn't get it, you called up your dad, and you're like, hey, what does Superman sound like?
No, I couldn't give him that much happiness and juice. No, but if you haven't seen our web series, like a lot of it is him making fun of himself for being the Daily Show, or for being Superman, and him pretending to be Superman in real life. So I had plenty of ammo just to see him goofing around doing that and laugh at it. Have you guys seen it? Have you seen the Daily Show?
I've seen that.
Oh, it's cool.
Nathan Fillion.
The Nathan Fillion one, yeah, that was really fun. Nathan's the best. I wish he was gonna. Is he gonna be here? I'm not sure if he's gonna be here.
I don't think so.
But we had a really fun time shooting that with Michael Rosenbaum too, and it was great. And I okay, I'll give you a good revealing tidbit. But in our new Daily Show, it's with Dean Cain and Brandon Routh come to welcome me into the League of Supermen.
Oh, wow.
And it's so absurd and silly, and no one takes themselves too seriously, that's for sure.
Does Tom Welling count?
You know, we'd love to get Tom Welling, but he's just too famous for it. No, we couldn't. We didn't have any connections to him. So I've played basketball actually with Dean Cain and Brandon Routh in this funny basketball league, entertainment league, for like 5 years now. They're like the best guys. They're just sweethearts. And Brandon told us when we were shooting that he's actually never, he hasn't done anything with the character until after Superman Returns to revisit it until this. So you should check it out. It's funny.
What's that like to go around and tell people you play basketball with Michael Jordan? And I know it's a different.
I wish I got to play with Michael Jordan. No, I mean it's fun because I played basketball in college. I went to a small school, a Division III school in Vermont called Middlebury. But so the basketball part is easy for me. But you know, it's just funny. It's called the Entertainment League now, but it used to be called the NBA Entertainment League. And so I would never invite someone to like my old man's league, but when I'm like, oh hey, you know, we're playing Snoop Dogg and Justin Timberlake and Ice Cube this week, they'll come. But for me, you know, celebrities, it's fun and they're nice and they're really good guys, but I like meeting the directors and the producers and being like, hey, put me in your next project, buddy. I'll take a jump shot here. You want another one? Dish it off. Yeah.
Trying to
keep feeding the rock. Yeah.
No.
Yo, whoops. Oh, you crossed me out. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, seriously. And then celebrities, you just block them. Just deal with them. So. Well, cool guys. Thank you so much.